You know, in the world of chess, there's really one rivalry that defines the modern era. It's more than just two players. It's like two philosophies are fighting for the soul of the game. This is the story of Magnus Carlsen versus Hikaru Nakamura, a tale of two kings.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll introduce our two contenders. Then, we'll really dig into their completely different styles of play. After that, we'll look at the data, see what happens when they go head-to-head. And finally, we'll talk about what this whole epic clash means for the future of chess itself.
Yeah, this is way more than just another matchup. It's a story of two brilliant but totally opposed ways of thinking about the game. It's really the ultimate test, right? Classical, patient mastery against the lightning-fast revolution of online chess. So let's meet our two kings. In one corner, you've got Magnus Carlsen, the universal champion. He's this classical master of control and just near-perfect precision. And in the other corner, there's Hikaru Nakamura, the charismatic face of online speed chess, a super bold and dynamic force who brought the game to millions.
All right, first up, let's try and wrap our heads around the almost machine-like dominance of Magnus Carlsen. His genius isn't just about one thing, it's about everything, all at once.
So what's his secret sauce? What makes him so unbeatable? It's what people call his universal style. It all starts with absolute control. Then he combines that with this inhuman patience, using psychology to nudge his opponents into making tiny little mistakes. And that's when his legendary precision takes over. And before you know it, you're in an endgame where his genius is just on a whole other level. 14-1. Just let that sink in for a second. In the slow, methodical world of classical, over-the-board chess, that's Magnus Carlsen's record against Hikaru Nakamura. I mean, that is just a staggering, almost unbelievable level of dominance between two of the best players in the world. And his genius isn't just about raw calculation. You got to hear this from fellow prodigy Pragnananda. He says Carlsen has this almost supernatural intuition. It's like he's saying Magnus doesn't just find the best move, he feels it, consistently playing one of the top choices a supercomputer would make almost instantly. It's just amazing. You know, Carlsen doesn't always win with these big, flashy attacks. A lot of the time, it's through something called the squeeze win. He just slowly applies this relentless positional pressure, taking away your squares, restricting your pieces, until you just have nowhere left to go and you crack. It's a slow, methodical, and frankly, terrifyingly effective way to win a game.
Okay, so now let's switch gears and talk about his great rival, Hikaru Nakamura. This is a player whose style seems like it was built from the ground up for the internet age. This is a guy who didn't just adapt to the online chess boom. You could say he was the boom.
Look, to really get Hikaru, you have to get blitz chess. Think of it like chess on hyperdrive. We're talking 3 to 5 minutes for the entire game. It's a world where pure instinct and speed can totally beat deep calculation because you're just putting your opponent under crushing time pressure. And this is Hikaru's kingdom.
So what's his game plan? Well, it's pretty simple but absolutely deadly. He basically turns the clock into a weapon. His blueprint is all about playing fast openings, choosing speed over slow, perfect moves, and using mind games to create chaos on the board. For Hikaru, your clock is just another piece he can attack. And this right here, this is the perfect example of the new battleground where this whole rivalry just exploded. During the pandemic, online events like this became the main stage. And with Hikaru streaming everything on Twitch, he basically lit the fuse on a massive chess boom, bringing this high-level rivalry to a whole new generation of fans.
Okay, so you've got these two titans, right? Two totally different strengths. When they clash, who actually comes out on top? Well, it's a little more complicated than you might think.
So who's the better player? The simple answer is, there isn't one. It all boils down to one simple question. How much time is on the clock? Okay, let's look at the data. At first glance, the lifetime record tells a pretty brutal story. Across all formats, Magnus Carlsen has nearly double the wins against Nakamura. Based on this alone, you'd be forgiven for thinking this rivalry is completely one-sided. But, and this is a big but, that's not the whole story.
Because look what happens when we zoom in on just their online games. Suddenly it's a whole different ballgame. The numbers get way closer. In Blitz, Magnus is up 29-20. In the even faster bullet format, it's 35-25. He's still got a lead for sure, but it is a far cry from the crushing dominance we see over the board.
So here's the key takeaway. While Magnus does still have the lead, in that fast-paced online world, Hikaru's home turf, this rivalry is incredibly competitive. Hikaru closes that gap in a huge way, proving he really is a king in the arena of speed.
This rivalry, it's so much more than just a win-loss record. It's really a living story about the soul of modern chess and where the heck it's going.
And believe me, this story is far from over. From these incredibly tense online showdowns like that 2020 final, which came down to this insane Armageddon tiebreak where a draw isn't an option, somebody has to win, to the huge classical showdowns that are always on the horizon, their battle just keeps unfolding. When you boil it all down, this is really a story of two eras colliding. You've got the quiet precision and deep, deep strategy of classical chess on one side, and the explosive, super accessible, high-energy world of online speed chess on the other. You could say Carlsen is the king of the old world, and Nakamura is the pioneer forging the new one.
And that's really what this whole rivalry leaves us with. It's this fundamental question, not just about who's better, but about what chess even is in the 21st century. Is it a patient, deliberate art form, or is it a high-speed, high-energy digital sport? Carlsen and Nakamura represent two different answers, and honestly, the future of the game itself hangs in the balance.